What's going on, guys? I don't know how this video is gonna sound. I've got a little heater I had in my old shop hooked up. Now that we have this insulation, we can have a little heat in here. It's 30 degrees outside right now. I've had this little 7,500 watt heater running for, probably 3 hours. And I don't know the temperature. I haven't bought one yet in here to see, but it is comfortable in here. I'm gonna guess it's 45 degrees probably, or 50 maybe. I don't know, 45 we'll say. So that's pretty cool. Anyways, order of operations tonight is we're working on the notorious 6.7 Powerstroke 11 and up cab mount problem that these have. It's the first job I've got in my shop, so I'm pretty stoked about that. Thank you, Lindo, for that. You go down in history as my first customer slash person in the shop, to work on your stuff. So thanks again, man. Yeah, we're gonna get this up in the air. Hopefully my rack can lift it. This will actually be a testament to what this little rack will do. I have to kind of figure that out before I get back on the camera with you. I'll let you know how it goes. We may have to do this one on the ground. I'm not sure until I get my big rack. It's good for the weight capacity. It's just these arms are a little smaller with this rack. So we'll see how that goes. But that's what we're doing tonight. I'll jump back on here in a minute and let you know how everything gets racked and how this job's gonna go. Sometimes these things stick. The bolts will seize, so you gotta heat them up, which I have a torch. I got all the tools. I do this at Die Hard all the time. But we're gonna try to get these out. He had a couple, I think he said he was starting. All right, this is the sad reality of 6.7 body mounts. This looks probably horrible on camera, which it is, because you have to melt the rubber bushings, which is horrible to breathe. Get your bolts hot. There's a lot of different ways to do this, but heating the bottom of the bolt. Sorry, bad camera and flaming at the same time. You got to heat the bottom of the bolt so it transfers all the way up to the top of the nut. And there's really no way to get in there otherwise. So that's what I'm doing right now. I've got 5 of the 8 out so far. This one's being the worst, so hopefully it comes in. Well, we just got to the point of winning. I ended up having to do this on the ground. My rack will not span this truck in a way that lifts it very well. So anyways, we're on the ground. Not a big deal. These can be done on the ground. Quite honestly, it's probably better for stability and people that aren't used to how the cabs are. Right now I have this whole cab lifted equally on all 4 corners, and I know how far they can go up. I kind of can do that because I pull these all the time, so I have an idea where it needs to be. Anyways, so the middle mount, so that's the rear mount, middle, under your feet, and then the front. These 2 mounts on both sides, they're the ones that normally don't go bad. They're like already a poly style, very rubbery, and they don't go bad, but you want to replace them obviously whenever you have your S&B kit. So I had to cut those out with the sawzaw. They would not pry, they would not budge. And then I had 2 seized in the front, the mounts themselves, and then 1 on the driver front A-pillar. So I'm not gonna lie, I've probably got right at 8 hours in this job. It should not take that long, but being in the new shop, having to go get tools, hooking up my air compressor, honestly, so I could have an air hammer, all of those things contributed to the time it took, but that's just how it happens. This is probably the worst one I've ever done. I've done handfuls of these. This one takes the cake for sure. But I'm gonna go over here and get to the I'm going to go get the S&B mounts out, show them to you, and then I'll put them in their spots and let you know how they go in. They're very well indicated and such, but I'm going to go get those, and I'll be right back with you. These are the mounts, S&B. Sorry, 2 hands there. S&B silicone mounts. They make air filters. You guys are probably all familiar with them. It comes with installation instructions per your QR code. Tells you some stuff, but essentially I don't have my tripod and I have not yet invested still in another camera, so I'm on the phone. It's pretty self-explanatory. It says right here, all items on this side of verbatim here. Let me see. All items on this side of the card go above the frame tab. Remove this card before installing. So everything from here goes on top of the frame, as if this were the frame or the hole in the frame, and then this goes in the bottom. They send you new bolts, Ford bolts. I have a little bit of a handy tip for you. You can maybe see here without me getting them out. They have factory Loctite. If you had any nuts on the truck that tried to spin, or if your truck's super rusty, which this one actually is kind of rusty, you might find that grinding a little bit of that Loctite off the bolts, like with a wire brush on a drill, before you install them, they will go in a lot better. Always do this stuff by hand, just to be cautious. If you know what you're doing, you can definitely put these in with a gun, but still yet, lube everything up, clean your threads out, and do what I just said with these bolts, and that'll save you a ton of time, and they'll go in. Now, that's not necessarily something they probably want me to say. I'm not getting paid by S&B or anything like that, but of course Loctite's important. You don't want your bolts to back out, but the way that these squish and the constant pressure that they have, I don't think they would ever come out. So do that at your own risk, but that's my little thing that I do. So I'm gonna get these installed. I'll get down there, put one in there, show you kind of how it sets in there, and then I'll zip them all in there and we'll call this done. But all right, after a lot of heating and beating and cutting and everything else, I got the upper mounts, as you can see, hopefully, sorry for the bad lighting, up in the top. So everything from the red piece up is up here. And then you have your lower pieces and your bolt. Simply, this piece slides just like that. And then your bolt goes right there. There's a torque spec. I can't remember what it is, but just follow your torque spec on S&B's paperwork and do them all evenly, of course. Get them all your bolts started. Don't tighten one up before the other. And then that's pretty much it. So I'm going to do that, torque them up, and go give this thing a test drive. But that pretty much wraps up putting these old S&B mounts in. Most of them are easier than this, so don't be too intimidated. But yeah, we'll get them in there. I'll show you a picture here in a minute, and then close this video up. Alrighty, guys. That wraps this one up. I was just telling you, the torque spec on this was 76 foot-pounds. Yeah, 76 foot-pounds. Just do them all evenly, get them tight, and that's all you got to do. Happy I got this wrapped up for my customer. His truck's going to have a lot less clunkiness now, so if you're hearing that clunkiness, sounds like something just jarring around, beating under your feet. That's typically what it is on these Powerstrokes 11 and up, some of the 08 to 10s as well, but these are very common for it. So that's how you replace the cab mounts on this. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. We'll have some more stuff coming up here within the next week or two. Keep some more stuff coming in the shop, and I'll update you on some projects. But yeah, that's it for this one, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.